Today I wanted to talk about joint property. Many of us are going to deal with joint property sometime in our life. Most of us, when we own property with our spouses, we own it in a joint manner. We might have joint accounts with our parents, our siblings, and a lot of times I don't think we understand what joint property actually means or what are the implications of owning property in a joint manner. So one thing to understand about joint property is something called the right of survivorship. Okay, what this means is that during your life or while you are alive and the joint owner are alive, basically you both own that property 100%. It's not like one person can sell that house, for example, without the other person's signature. In a bank account, for example, if you have joint property or joint ownership, either person can take that money. It's as if they both own that 100% each. And the other thing to understand is that when you pass away, right, it's not like 50% of that account is going to be distributed or 50% of that house is going to be distributed. Rather, when somebody passes away and they own property in a joint manner, that other person becomes the owner as soon as you pass away. Okay, no one can even make a claim, nothing, right? And so I think we have to be very conscious and very intentional in the way that we own property. Okay, so one is called joint ownership. That's one way that somebody can own property. And like I said, bank accounts, you could own houses and things like that in joint property. There's something else, another type of ownership, or way to own property or real estate, is especially in this particular circumstance, is called tenancy by the entirety. Okay, so tenancy in the entirety is limited to married couples. And it acts just like joint property, right? In the sense that husband and wife both own this house 100% each, that if one passes away, the other person becomes the 100% owner of that property. And it also gives you certain protections against liabilities as well. So as a married couple, it makes sense to own your house tenancy by the entirety. But we have to understand, again, that there's a right of survivorship. Just like in joint property, there's going to be a right of survivorship in tenancy by the entirety. And the third and final way to own property is called tenancy in common. Tenancy in common. So I think for most people, when they think about the way that they own property, they typically think of tenants in common, right? Basically that you each have your own share in that house. So for example, if I own a house with my brother, okay, and I own it tenants in common, I pass away, that 50% will go to my family. Okay, the other thing is that during my lifetime, I can sell my 50% share to whoever I want, right? And so I think most people believe tenants in common is the right way to go. You could theoretically own your house tenants in common with your spouse. That might actually help, Islamically speaking, but it kind of hurts you from the liability perspective. And so really, I think the whole point of why I thought this was important is that it impacts us not only on your day-to-day when you do businesses. It could help when you open up accounts. It could help when you buy property. And I think that you should also review the video on marital property, right? Because that's a whole new paradigm that overrides the title. So usually what I say in estate planning is that the title controls, right? Whatever the title says, that's what you have to go by. Whatever arrangements you have on the side, forget about it, because the title is going to control. However, when you get married, there's a special, thing that takes effect on your property. And so I would review that video. I hope the video was helpful. I hope that you decide when you buy a property or you open up an account that you intentionally pick what type of ownership that you want. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe for future videos like this and about divorce and whatever else is on my mind. Until next time, inshallah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.